We are back at war in the Middle East. Trump has claimed that there has been a ceasefire over 40 times since the war with Israel in the Middle East and us being involved has begun. So us civilians, we have to ask the question, is there any actual reason that the US government plans to have a ceasefire go longer than just a handful of days? And also, is Israel a nation that is wanting this ceasefire to go through? And from the actions yesterday and the day before about the bombings going on in Lebanon, doing certain things to many civilians in that nation, I would argue that they do not. We live in a nation that is funding foreign nations, and we have been for decades. We've typically utilized the language that it is for our global reach and domination across the globe as the world's superpower. But I think civilians are probably starting to wake up. If you clicked on this video, you're likely one of them. We have been at war now with Iran, and US Marine forward operating bases have been bombed by Iran, and drones have gone into our allied nations, including the UAE and Dubai. At what point do we as civilians just say enough is enough? It's getting pretty ridiculous that we are spending billions of dollars in foreign wars when we, in this nation, have over 100,000 people passing away from specific type of substances. We have things happening on our own streets, especially in major cities, that is wiping out way more people than any war that we have been in the last century since World War II. So let me ask, why has our president taken these steps to fund these nations that clearly do not have our priorities in their priority list, let alone even in the top 3? This is just a rant today because honestly, it just very much disturbs me to see the fact that we are giving aid to nations, and I'm not just talking about Israel, that are doing things that at what point is it just not our problem? I am by no means an isolationist, but we as taxpayers to our federal government need to understand that they were put in office because of us. We vote, they get in office. Now we can argue about voting and the corruption behind that, but the theory and the practice still stand, and that is what our nation was built off of. It just really messes with me on a daily basis because we have people, including myself, who are small business owners, working our asses off to try to get from point A to point B in the most prosperous nation that has ever existed and the nation that has the most freedom than ever before in human history. And to me, this, as an independent, this is one of the things that is slowly but surely, and I think at one point there will be a climax event, absolutely disrupt this form of freedom that we have come to know and love. I'm 32 years old. Up until about my 20s, I lived a life completely capable of being an astronaut, being the president, being something in my mindset that I could achieve due to the capabilities of how the US puts the opportunities before us as civilians, as citizens of this great nation. But as I've grown into more of a woken up adult, I've come to realize that there's actually so much grooming going on through the media, through school systems, through the propaganda that we see, read, hear, all throughout the day. Whether you're woke left or psycho far right, the reality is that somewhere in the middle there's a perfect balance that we can achieve as civilians that can bring back what our nation was founded on. And to be honest, it makes me a little nervous at what it may take to achieve that. Am I calling for anything severe? No, nor do I wish that that would ever occur. But the reality is that we as a nation have rights that go beyond what any federal voted in or non-voted in politician can say. And the level of corruption that has taken place is far beyond what I personally ever thought possible. And since 2020, I personally have woken up drastically to the realities. And I started this rant going on about war, but even the dynamic of data centers and how they are going to launch our nation into the next great wave of the surveillance state. We have cameras here in this city. I live in this city in Florida. We have cameras everywhere. And this is one of the most Republican cities, one of the most Republican states in the US. Freedom-loving people. And yet we still have such a surveillance state, even here, that it is mind-boggling to me, the technology that has been achieved. And yet we still have to do billions of dollars of funding all throughout the world, and yet we can't fix our substance crisis. We can't stop our homeless crisis. We can't stop the felonies that are taking place. I can't say certain words here on YouTube without censorship. And that is actually one of the things as well that is insane to me. But guys, this is just a simple rant. I'm just disgusted about the continued war that is going on in the Middle East. And I would love to hear what you have to say down in the comments section. Because I am sick of this shit. I'm thankful I have an Instagram and I'm an online fitness coach. And I have a in-person clientele list as well here in this city. And I'm thankful that my specifically Instagram has grown to a place where a lot of veterans, including many close friends and very, very close people to myself, are in the military or ex-military, current police officers, ex-police officer, just got a New York City police officer as an online client. And yes, I am just rambling that off to show any level of credibility that I have, which is not much, but some just due to the relevance of who I'm around. And these individuals are also sick of it. And it is distressing to me to see individuals like Sean Ryan, Nub Gunner, and these different massive social media influences that are waking up like I have. And I have a lot of the same morals and beliefs as these individuals that love Jesus, that love our nation, not our government, but our nation, and believe that it's special. I'm not saying it's a godsend and that God, prioritizes our nation necessarily. But y'all, this has to change. So like, comment, and subscribe if you are in the same boat as me and you enjoy talking about these subjects. I would love to get into a conversation with any of you guys in the comment section. So thank you for listening and watching this video today. Another video will be popping out on Saturday. Love you guys. Peace.